Hey, I wanted to share a video today on a topic that I hear all over the place. And that is the idea that you're not losing weight because you're not eating enough. You probably have heard that or maybe said that yourself. I know I've said something similar to that many times, but I want to talk about what that really means and where there's some truth to it, but also some level of it that is false. So let's start with the negative. What part of that is not true? Because if you're not eating enough, then you should be losing weight, right? So if you think about that, not eating enough means you're actually in a calorie deficit where the amount of nutrition that you're giving your body, the amount of calories that you have, is less than what your body needs to perform its daily functions, right? So we got energy balance here. What you put in, what your body is burning throughout the day. And if you're not eating enough, right, your body is going to be burning more energy than what you're giving it. That is a calorie deficit. If that happens, your body has no choice but to burn stored energy in your body fat. That idea, that's a truth. If you are truly in a calorie deficit, if you are not eating enough, you will lose weight. You will burn body fat. That is the law of energy. There is no getting around that. That is true. So then what does it mean when we're saying, well, you're not eating enough and that's why you're not losing weight? So I want to share some information about metabolism because that is your body's engine, right? How well can your body take the energy that you give it through your food and then, use that to basically turn into energy to function throughout the day for your daily life, for your workouts, like all those things. And if your body's metabolism, the ability to take the food and then convert it to energy, is not in a good place, meaning that it is slowed down. You've heard that term, a slow metabolism. Basically what that is where your body's not doing that very efficiently, and so your ability to burn energy and lose weight, lose body fat, is slower. And that part can happen because of constant dieting, constant under eating. So when you begin to get into a routine, which a lot of us have done, like a life cycle of dieting and extreme measures, your body is very, very dynamic and it wants to survive. So it will teach itself and learn how to become more energy efficient and to slow your metabolism so that you are not able to burn energy and burn fat as efficiently. The less you fuel yourself for long periods of time, these extended diet periods where you're under fueling, your body's metabolism is going to slow down. And so what that means is if you've dropped your metabolism, it's not burning energy very fast, then you have to cut more and more calories out, under eat a little bit more and more in order to then get that energy balance, right? So we're taking energy out. Let's say this is metabolism, how much your body's building. This is what you're feeding it. You're feeding it less, it's going to drop down. Okay, I'm trying to survive. I'm going to burn less energy in my daily life. I'm going to take less steps, wiggle around less, not be, as high energy during workouts. All those things start to slow down. And so now energy is equal again. You're eating less calories, but you're also burning less calories. So then what do you have to do to lose weight? You have to cut more calories down. Another cycle goes through, right? We continue to cut, and our metabolism slows. Also losing muscle as you're losing weight, like those things really do affect how efficient your body is to burn energy and get you into a fat burning phase. So, that cycle of eat less, slow the metabolism is where you're not eating enough and that's why you're not losing weight can be true, right? So this is what I really want to focus on because that is very, very much a fact for a lot of women. Our metabolisms are slow. We don't have muscle, which is like our body's best way of boosting our metabolism. We're under eating and, just continuing down this cycle of lowering and slowing our metabolism. So weight loss becomes harder. And, the good news is that your metabolism is dynamic and you can help improve it and change that, so that you can get into a calorie deficit easier and also be able to maintain that. Because I think one of the biggest things is, can you maintain your calorie deficit? if you have to cut your calories down extremely low in order to get into a calorie deficit because your metabolism is slow, it makes it really, really hard to stick to, right? The less calories you have, the more restrictive you have to be with your food. Like, those things are hard to maintain. And women try and they cut down and their metabolism is slow, but they cannot sustain it. And what happens is then they give up, they overeat, and then what happens is they are actually in a surplus. They're eating too many calories. They have a slow metabolism. They are overeating because they can't hold that calorie deficit to eat, few enough calories and be able to sustain it, because it's so dramatic and uncomfortable. Unless they're using drugs to support that, they can't maintain that low calorie level, which then causes binge eating, poor food relationship, and overeating. So it's really not that you aren't eating enough calories, that you're defying the law of energy. You're not defying the law of energy. You're not fueling your body properly, and giving it enough energy so that that metabolism can rev up, can trust you, can know that it's going to get enough fuel to build muscle, be active, get steps in, move throughout the day, have good hormone health. All of those things take a stable calorie intake. And if you're constantly cutting those calories out, you're slowing that process down and you're making it harder for you in the long term. So, these are some things that I want us to think about. How can we repair that? Because some people have already done damage to their metabolism, and you're stuck in that low calorie point where the only way for you to lose any weight would be to go extremely low in calories, and we don't want to continue that process. Beyond that, just your general energy and how you feel in the day. If you're in an extreme calorie deficit, you're not going to feel good. Your energy is going to be crappy. Your sleep's going to be crappy. Your hormones are going to go crazy. You're going to start losing your hair. And, we don't want that. We want you to be strong and healthy, and then also be able to manage your body fat as well. So rather than continuing to try to do a calorie deficit, a lot of times the answer is to remove the calorie deficit and to eat in maintenance. So maintenance is very, very good for repairing metabolism. And what that means is you're eating the right amount of calories to sustain your daily activities, and you're not trying to diet and lose weight. Keeping your body in that neutral position is going to allow you to then repair and increase your metabolism. Other ways to do that are to be in a surplus, where you're eating more calories than what your body needs, and that way you can build muscle. Muscle is so important and is probably the most strategic way to increase your metabolism. And so, if I find somebody who is stuck in that low calorie range, most likely they have not enough body mass as far as muscle goes. They might have a lot of body fat, but not a lot of lean mass for their muscle. And so, then that next step is to try to get into a maintenance, a normal sustainable level of calories, increase your muscle by strength training, increase activity by moving your body more intentionally, walking, doing some cardio if you enjoy that, but really not like changing the mindset that you need to constantly be dieting down and cutting calories. Instead, eat at a normal calorie range and gradually increase your calories over time to then stabilize your metabolism. What that does is it protects your body so that the next time you want to lose body fat, you aren't further damaging your metabolism and getting down to that I'm not eating enough stage. You can go into a moderate calorie deficit, be patient, because it's going to take longer than what you want it to. And, moderately cut calories so that it's still sustainable, that you still have energy, that you're not losing muscle mass and just starving yourself down. And do a more conservative approach to fat loss after your metabolism has healed, has repaired, has gotten up to a faster level, right? If you are trying to do a fat loss phase and your metabolism is already at a low, you're just making it worse. You're not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be sustainable. You're going to be frustrated because you can't stick to it, and you're going to be miserable because you don't feel good. So really, ultimately, when we're saying you're probably not eating enough, you're probably right. You can't sustain it. Your metabolism is screwed. So let's instead eat in maintenance, repair that metabolism, focus on things that can change that for you, like your strength training, like your walking daily, and really try to repair and heal your body so that you're able to then eat more and lose body fat. And this is where the sweet spot is, where you're in a calorie deficit, but you're eating more food than what you used to. And this is what I love to get into with my clients. Get your metabolism working well for you so that when you do want to, drop body fat percent, you're not starving yourself. You're not worrying about losing muscle. You're not worrying about your hair falling out. You're not worrying about your hormones being wrecked. You're comfortable, it's sustainable, and you have good energy, and you're burning body fat, but in a way that isn't going to be damaging to you in the long term and for your metabolism right now. So if you have questions about, what does that mean? Like, I think I might not be eating enough, but I'm not really sure. What should my calories be? What should my maintenance calories be? Like, let's start that discussion. I'm happy to answer questions like that for people. Or if you ever felt like you were stuck in that cycle where you keep trying to diet deeper and you're not seeing results and you're kind of getting that burnout restart cycle, if that's really something that resonates with you, go ahead and comment here. Let's open the conversation. I know a lot of people have experienced that. I know I have too. And, life doesn't have to be that difficult for us if we're patient and we choose, pathways to weight loss that are more sustainable and more health conscious as opposed to just dropping down to a lower weight. You can do it. I'd love to talk about it. Go ahead and comment here and I'll check in with you another time.